Pedro Pascal is flying high.
Thank you so much!
But life hasn't always been straightforward. He escaped a military dictatorship as a child, endured grief in his 20s, and faced career setbacks well into his 30s. In spite of these challenges, he remained resilient and became one of the biggest stars in the world. This is Pedro Pascal Unpacked. Pascal was born in April 1975 in Santiago, Chile, a time of great upheaval and danger.
Queuing, for one reason or another, has become a way of life in Chile. This is a breadline, and it's repeated throughout the country.
2 years before he was born, spiraling inflation, strikes, and covert American operations had brought Chile to its knees, leading to socialist President Salvador Allende being deposed in a military coup. General Augusto Pinochet took over, beginning a 17-year military dictatorship. It was a violent regime where thousands were killed, tortured, and jailed.
The army is diverting all its time and its considerable force to hunting down the remaining Marxists and Allende sympathizers.
Pascal's parents had been supporters of the ousted Allende and were involved in the opposition movement against Pinochet. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything, Pascal spoke about his parents' involvement. A lot of people who spoke their mind were disappearing and in danger. They tried to help some people and were caught. They actually snuck into the Venezuelan embassy and claimed asylum after being in hiding for about 6 months after finding out people were looking for them. They were granted political asylum in Denmark before eventually moving to the United States. But the threat posed by the Pinochet regime was not lost on Pascal as a child.
There was a very dramatic moment in our house when I was a child because this Costa Gravas movie called Missing with Sissy Spacek and Jack Lemmon, which deals with the military dictatorship in Chile at the time. It's a true story where an American journalist went missing and was found dead. And there was a moment where Sissy Spacek's character, she doesn't make it home before curfew, and she just kind of gets trapped in the city. And I sort of project these kinds of images of my mother into these character circumstances, and I just remember completely falling apart when she was in danger and when she was so afraid, and imagining that could have happened to my mother. I remember having a little bit of a breakdown. I could sit through anything at the time, and I remember just starting to cry and being like, I can't watch this.
Pascal's love of acting began early on.
Maybe before I was 6 years old, I was saying that I wanted to be a dentist, but it became I want to be in movies. It didn't really change.
And this interest bloomed during his teenage years in California, before getting a place at the acclaimed NYU's Tisch School of Arts. But back home, his family were under pressure. His father, a fertility doctor, was involved in a scandal related to the clinic he ran with 2 others. Pascal contends his dad did nothing wrong, but it led to his parents and 2 younger siblings returning to Chile. Pascal stayed in the US, securing theatre work and booking one-off television appearances. Like every young actor trying to make it, he was hustling for work, but life soon turned upside down. At just 24 years old, Pascal unexpectedly loses his mother, who passes away in Chile.
I remember it being an unbelievable thing to get through, to be honest with you.
What do you mean by unbelievable?
I just loved her so much, and she's just kind of the love of my life in a way, and the world doesn't stop, and the sun doesn't stop shining.
He throws himself into his work, but can't get a break.
So I moved back to New York. The original goal was to go out there and to do theater and to be a real actor and everything like that. And so I must make meaning out of my life. Big mistake. Big mistake. New York was like, really? You're back? Yeah, and what? Back to the restaurant, kid.
Pascal was forced to reassess his expectations. In a 2021 interview, he said, "I had to let go of so many ideas I had about what the pursuit of this career was going to be. It's a child's fantasy. There were opportunities. A close call started early for me and didn't happen. You find yourself in your mid-30s and can't live off the next off-Broadway show." How tough was this period? Well, he claims to have been fired from upwards of 20 restaurants as a waiter. But he managed to get through this period thanks to the support of friends and family. And over the next decade and some, he perfected his theatre work and booked more TV roles. Actress Sarah Paulson, who is one of his closest friends, says he has a rather righteous sense of self, When I look back at it now, I do know there was always this voice deep down inside him that said someday he was going to do what he wanted to do in the manner in which he wanted to do it. But the more you're told no, that little voice starts to get quieter and quieter, and it gets further and further away. Paulson is key to this story. Pascal asks her to pass an audition tape to her best friend Amanda Peet, the wife of Game of Thrones co-creator David Benioff.
She, being Sarah Paulson, is like, you give me that tape right now. Sat down with Amanda, like watched it immediately, and then insisted that David watch it. I didn't believe that it would make a difference, and it did.
And the rest is history.
Oberyn motherfucking Martell, man. The Red Viper, what do you want? Changed my life.
Pascal's portrayal of Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones made him a fan favourite, despite only being in the show for 7 episodes.
Who gave you the order? Who gave you the order?
What felt like a really lucky circumstance and the break, because it meant being able to pay rent and continue. You know what I mean?
Paying bills is important.
Yeah, super important.
It was the first domino in an incredible period of success. He's gone on to feature in films like Kingsman,
You try anything funny and I'll turn this thing electric.
Equalizer 2,
I'm in.
and Wonder Woman 1984.
You can't stop me! No one can!
But he's best known for lead roles in TV hits Narcos,
Let me call you back.
The Mandalorian,
It's time to go.
and The Last of Us.
Came here to save you.
And as Pascal's reputation has grown, his personality has won him a loyal fan base.
Do you ever look at Instagram accounts devoted to you being a heartthrob when you're feeling down?
Yes, I do.
What's your favorite account?
It's called Pedro Pascal fan account. What language does Oscar Isaac speak?
What would you call it?
I would call it annoying. I love you. I'm just gonna sit here and say I love you and say hi and slay and yas.
He's even gained an iconic nickname along the way.
Daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
You the daddy of the internet? What's internet daddy?
Me.
You are Daddy Pascal.
Daddy Pascal. Papi Pascal.
Elsewhere, he's been celebrated as an LGBTQ+ ally. When his sister Lux came out publicly as a transgender woman, she paid tribute to her brother, saying he was an important part of this and one of the first people to gift me the tools that started shaping my identity. And co-star of The Last of Us, Bella Ramsey, who self-defines as non-binary, says Pascal was super supportive in conversations around gender and sexuality. Their relationship has had a profound impact on him too.
I really don't think I've met anybody like Bella, in that I was truly sort of inspired and humbled. They brought the best out of me as a person.
It's okay, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Pascal is proof for never giving up on your dreams. He was named one of the 100 most influential people of 2023 by Time magazine, and this year won his first major prize.
Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us!
This is wrong for a number of reasons. I'm a little drunk. I thought I could get drunk. I'm gonna have a panic attack and I'm gonna leave.
This recognition, coupled with leading roles in huge franchises like Gladiator and Fantastic Four, is an incredible feat for any actor, but one which feels even more significant because of his impact on Latino representation in film and TV.
People get so butthurt about this kind of stuff, but who cares? Because that is the coolest way of like moving the needle.
Pascal's background is something which he has always been proud of. Last year he hosted SNL and in his opening monologue paid tribute to his Chilean roots.
It is amazing to be here. Like I said, I was born in Chile, and 9 months later my parents fled Pinochet and brought me and my sister to the US. They were so brave, and without them I wouldn't be here in this wonderful country. And I certainly wouldn't be standing here with you all tonight. So to all my family watching in Chile, I just want to say te amo, te extraño, y deja de dar mi información personal, which means I love you, I miss you, and stop giving out my phone number.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then you'll love this profile of Nicolas Cage, Pascal's co-star in the unbearable weight of massive talent. Please consider subscribing, it really helps the channel grow, and comment on who you'd like unpacked next.